Camden County Board of Commissioners meeting. We're going to begin the invocation by Commissioner Goodman and followed by the Pledge of Allegiance.
Let us stand to pray, please. Gentlemen, please remove your head coverings, if you will. Let's pray. Our Father and our God in heaven, we come to thee in prayer, and we ask you for guidance as we consider these matters before us tonight. Father, we are eternally grateful for all of the many blessings which you bestow upon us. Father, as always, we pray for the safety of those who protect us and stand in the breach between evil and us. Father, give comfort to those who need comfort, healing to those who need healing. All of these things we ask in thy name. Amen.
Amen. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, Cody?
All commissioners are present.
Okay, all right. We have two amendments to the agenda. We're going to take these in order. One is the addition of a presentation from Sweetwater Branch Association regarding the Sweetwater Branch Park. The second one would be the removal of the discussion regarding real estate from executive session. Let's take the addition of item one with Sweetwater Branch Association first. Do I hear a motion to add this to the agenda?
Mr. Chairman, I move that we hear the presentation from Sweetwater Branch Association and add it to the agenda.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Discussion? All in favor? Motion carries. Second item is removal of the discussion regarding real estate from the executive session. Do I have a motion?
Without knowing the nature of the business, it's hard to know.
I make a motion we remove the discussion regarding real estate from executive session.
You seem certain, so I'll second you, Chairman.
We have a first and a second. Any discussion? All in favor? Motion carries. Now we'll move on to the adoption of...
Hold on, Mr. Chairman.
I'm sorry?
I need to make a motion on something. Mr. Chairman, at our last meeting, we conducted a lawful executive session to address the county administrator position. The board returned to open session, and by unanimous vote, public vote, mind you, we named Mr. Yokobachi as interim administrator for a period of 6 months. By continuing to bring this matter up, it undermines staff's confidence, weakens the authority of the interim administrator, and signals political dysfunction, all of which can hamper any potential search that we may do in the future. So I recommend we remove item 8 from the agenda.
We have a motion to remove item 8 from the agenda.
I'll second it.
We have a motion and a second. Discussion.
Yeah, certainly. So are we not going to discuss before the public on whether we're going to have a search for a new county administrator or not?
I think I can answer that. I mean, from my point of view, we all agreed that we were going to let him, Joey, be the interim county administrator for 6 months, at which time we were to evaluate.
I don't think it was ever clear on whether we would actually do a search or not, and that's what I would like to have decided today. You know, the interim role, you know, by its very nature is temporary, and so I don't think it is, it's not outside of the bounds to do a search while someone is serving in that capacity. A process, you know, Joey is welcome to apply to as well.
And that's good. I mean, that's your opinion. But my opinion is you give him the 6 months, and then you evaluate.
We could take a vote on it by leaving this item on the agenda, but if you guys would not want to, you know, put your hand in the air one way or the other, you can move forward with
I'll put
removing
my
it.
hand in to leave him there for 6 months, and then evaluate it.
Yeah, so that's item number 8. We can do that if we keep it on the agenda.
Motion and a second to remove item number 8.
Robbie, turn your microphone on.
I'm sorry? Microphone. So we have a motion and a second to remove item 8 from the agenda. All in favor? All opposed? Did you get that, Katie? Yes. Thank you.
Well, what was that vote, Katie? 3-2. Thank you.
With Commissioner Smith and Commissioner Goodman.
Yeah, could you-
Commissioner, it was a vote of 3-2. Commissioner Smith and Commissioner Goodman voted opposed to that motion.
Thank you, Katie.
Okay, any more discussion on the agenda?
I get it. At the end of 6 months, if Joey
This discussion is inappropriate without an agenda item to discuss it.
We've already discussed that. We're going to adopt the agenda.
Okay, never mind. Excuse me.
Okay, do we have a motion to adopt the agenda as amended?
So moved.
I'll second. We have a first and a second. Any more discussion? All in favor? All opposed? Commissioner Smith's opposed. Okay. Now we'll move on to the approval of the minutes from the January 29th, 2026 strategic planning session. Having read the minutes, are there any additions, deletions, or corrections on the 29th of January 2026 Strategic Planning Commission minutes?
Did we receive the report that we were waiting for?
No, we have not.
I'll move to accept these minutes from the strategic planning.
So we have a motion to accept the January 29th, 2026 Strategic Planning Session minutes. Any second? Have a second? I'll second. Any discussion? All in favor? Now we'll move on to the approval of the January 30th, 2026 Strategic Planning Session minutes. Do we have a motion to approve? I'll make the motion to approve the January 30, 2026 Strategic Planning Session minutes.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? Motion carries. Now we'll move on to the February 3rd, 2026 regular meeting, public hearing, and executive session minutes. Do we have a motion to approve the February 3rd, 2026 regular meeting, public hearing, and executive session minutes?
Is this including the amendments made today? Yes, sir. Okay.
I emailed those all out, and you also have a hard copy up here in front of you.
Yes.
Okay. I'll move to approve, I move to approve the February 3rd minutes with the addition of the comments.
Okay. We have a motion. I'll second. Any more discussion? All in favor? Motion carries. Now we'll move on to our presentations. We're going to have the first presentation is by Commissioner Casey for the St. Mary's River Management Committee Annual Report.
Thank you, Chairman. Camden County plays a vital role in protecting the St. Mary's River as part of a 4-county partnership under the St. Mary's River Management Committee. The 4 participating counties include Camden and Charlton in Georgia, and Nassau and Baker in Florida. The committee monitors key issues that impact the river and its watershed, including land use, public access, water quality, and growth and development. Some of the key projects that we've been monitoring are the growth in Camden and Nassau County, including the developments such as Wildlight and the Exit 1 corridor projects in Kingsland and St. Mary's, the status of the Blue Bridge property, with Georgia DNR expected to build out that project, the completion of the Temple Creek Interpretive Trail improvements. We're still waiting on some work on that. Ongoing stormwater infrastructure evaluations, monitoring growth-related impacts on wastewater capacity, supporting watershed-wide nutrient reduction and erosion control efforts, advancing floodplain management and resiliency initiatives at both the city and county levels. The Spanish Creek Septic Tank Project in Charlton County is modeled after our Camden County's successful project that we did at Temple Creek a few years ago. The proposed Twin Mines mining project near the Okefenokee Swamp will not move forward following the property acquisition by the Conservation Fund. And there's 2 new potential boat ramps on the St. Mary's River, one potentially at Camp Pinckney in Charlton County, and one in Baker County. And that concludes my report.
Thank you. Next presentation is by the Sweetwater Branch Association regarding the Sweetwater Branch Park.
Commissioners and everyone else, thank you for giving us this opportunity to present this presentation to you all regarding SWABA, Sweetwater Branch. Okay, on the slide, you will notice that I may skip a couple to go back because they kind of like, I'm kind of putting them out of order a little bit there for myself, but anyway. Sweetwater Branch, everybody, that is on Point Peter Road. No, I am. On Point Peter, 800 Point Peter Road, St. Mary's, St. Mary's. That is where the park is located. Okay, and the Sweetwater presentation, we will begin. The agenda, I'm not going to be reading word to word from this because you all have a copy, so I don't want to read word to word because everybody can basically read. What I want to say about the park in the beginning, I'm going to give you just a brief history of the park so you can know, what I'm talking about, so you can have a little idea of why I'll ask or what they are and our whys. The city of St. Mary deeded the Sweetwater Branch Park 12 acres of land to us in 1964 for the park was for the African American community. You have an exhibit reference there on the deed. And that was during the time, as you know, that unfortunately, back in the days where we had to have our own parks. Also, and this deed is recorded in the county deed book. And the Sweetwater has served as a cornerstone for the African American community when there was no other options available for us to go. Sweetwater Branch has a lot of history in it. There is numerous of players that has played out there, that has played went professional, and some who has offers. And many of you all may recognize some of the names that's already up there that has benefited from use of that park. One of our desires for the park is to revitalize and become a source of enjoyment and recreation for all the city citizens in the community and the surrounding areas. Okay. One of our asks is to petition that the commissioner, the Camden County Board of Commission, reestablish a lease agreement with the Swabat Park that has been in place for August the 5th, 1986 through the 31st of December of 2025. Our why is past performance success with the Camden County Board is indicate what is to be expected in the future. We has been very successful working with the board, Camden Board. Also, the lease agreement allow for access to splash funds dedicated to parks in the county. And we are to continue providing a place for recreation and entertainment for the citizens of Camden County and the surrounding area. We were once under PSA, and I've given you a brief breakdown of the expense that it costs during the years that we was on the PSA. And as you can see that it's broken down in the monthly and the annual cost, but we know that that will be, we are not 100%, but this is what it was in the past. As you can see, the park site, and as you can see, there is so much potential of the Swaba Park. There's 12 acres of land there that can be vital to the recreation and entertainment area of Camden County. Anyone that knows where the park is located on Point Peter, you can see that there's only a little bit development there, but see how far that park goes back, and the land is there. You can have your pickleball, you can have your trails, you can have all sorts of great things there on that Sweetwater branch. Great potentials. And currently, we have a playground, a pavilion with restrooms, and a basketball court out there, which was once, tennis courts was out there once, but they were removed. And now this is basically what the park is there. The park also is utilized by parties. We have tremendous amount of calls. Matter of fact, since January, I've had about 15 calls wanting to rent the park. So there is money-making potentials there at the park as well. And we feel that staying up on the board, the commissioners and the board of you all, we can do great things together. And the park is so important to us, so much of history to everyone in Camden County and surrounding areas that has utilized that park. Also, I guess Mr. Turner was telling me, Commissioner Turner was telling me that he played on that park, and his sons played on that park. So please consider the value of that park and the potential of that park. And we ask to continue our joint relationship with the county and be successful together with that park, because there is a tremendous amount of growth in Camden County, as you all see every day. The growth, and building up that park will help with the growth of for recreation and for the community, the county, surrounding area as well. So if you like any additional information, just contact us. This is the board: Shirley Sessom, President; Mike Wilson, Vice President; Sean Myers, who is the Secretary. You have the POC contact in the back of the slides, okay?
Thank you, ma'am. Yeah, we're discussing your ask, and we'll get back to you. Thank you. We do have it under discussion. Okay, we're going to move on to our first public comment section. This is going to be comments on agenda items only, limited to 3 minutes. Katie, do we have anybody signed up?
Ben Goff.
Is that what that means? It's Ben Goff from Harriet's Bluff. The agenda for tonight's meeting had 3 agenda items added by Commissioner Smith of District 3. Adopt a Park Program, Airport Referendum, Professional Search for County Administrator. As a city commissioner, I would gladly vote to approve all 3 items, as there is much merit to all 3 items. There are those in the community that would gladly welcome the opportunity to participate in the maintenance and beautification of the county parks given the opportunity. If the state can have a program, I don't understand why the county can't have a program. And we attempted to do that once with the Harrodsburg Park and got kicked out by the PSA. Now we don't have the PSA anymore, so how about adopt a park program? The airport referendum is just a basic right of the citizens to vote on the pursuit of a general purpose airport in Camden County. It was talked about in the planning sessions. A referendum was talked about and directions given, I believe, to the election supervisor to provide dates and wherewithal. I've seen some conversation about not taking private parcels off the tax rolls, but yet we took the Resiliency Center off the tax rolls. We took the location for the Public Health Department off the tax rolls, all within this administration's timeline. I don't agree, doesn't make any difference, but I don't agree with the removal of the amendment from tonight's session. There's pros and cons, and I'm not going to push my limit, but there are pros and cons for both arguments, a search or no search. And thank you for your time.
Thank you, Mr. Goff.
Mr. Ricky Manning.
Rick Bannon from Bullhead. I just want to briefly touch on the same things Mr. Goff did, items 6, 7, and 8. 6 is a gimme. I mean, anytime we can get more of the citizens involved in our parks and our recreation or anything for that fact, it's a win-win. It doesn't cost you anything. They got more input, and they know what they want. So that, I mean, that's an excellent gimme. The airport, I don't even want to go there. Y'all know what I think about that. The county's got no business in business. Period. We already see what's happening with every business you touch now. Let's look at them. If you really want to, that's a long story. But every one of them's failed. Cost us more money. Now, removing item 8, I don't understand that. I've read the contract with Joey. Fine contract. He's got 6 months. He's a smart guy. He's able to join the search along with anybody else. So are you going to wait 6 months and then his contract runs out and then you're going to go start looking? That don't make a whole lot of sense, does it? It don't make a bit of sense at all. Start the search. Joey's in that search. He's already in it. What are you trying to protect here, folks? Thank you.
Anybody else signed up, Katie? Anybody else want to speak to the board? Okay, moving on. Let's see. Okay, item number 1 is approval of a surplus list item. Kelsey?
Good evening, Commissioners. This agenda item is for your consideration to approve the surplus of a 2006 Crown Victoria and 2 Honda UTVs. The vehicle and UTVs are beyond repair and it is too costly to repair them. They will be salvaged. There is a lot of saltwater damage to the vehicle and UTVs from being on Cumberland Island. Staff recommends approval to salvage the vehicle and UTVs. Thank you.
Thank you, Kelsey. Haven't heard the information. Do we have a motion to approve the surplus item list?
Mr. Chairman, I move to approve the surplus item list.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Thank you.
Motion carries. Okay, the next item is the appointment to the Camden County Board of Health. See, I think we have two applicants. Three applicants? I only see two.
We had an additional one coming over the weekend. I sent it out earlier.
Okay. So I haven't seen the applicants. Do we have a motion, or do we have a recommendation to, for an appointment to the Board of,
Mr. Chairman, I recommend Dan, is it Janikak? How do you say that?
I would say Janisac, but
Okay.
again, he
He's got
probably did
40
as well as I
years.
did, so.
He's got 40 years' experience in the medical field, so I recommend him.
Second.
Do we have a motion and a second? Any discussion? All in favor to appoint Dan Janisac to the Camden County Board of Health? All in favor? Motion carries. Okay, now we have a consideration for the appointment to the St. Mary's River Management Committee. I see we have three applicants. Do we have a recommendation?
Doing it. I like Glenn Radford, District 3, and mainly because he's an Eagle Scout. They've been in the river.
Well, try and appoint somebody that lives along the river
Okay,
or
who do you
close
suggest?
to it. Well, the last two that I suggested didn't last very long, so,
I'm looking at a St. Mary's resident with,
William Story, is that who you're looking at?
yes, sir.
Okay. I retract mine.
Okay, Commissioner Turner's motion has been retracted. And do we have a motion now for William Story? Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
We have a first and a second to appoint William Story to the St. Mary's River Management Committee. All in favor? Motion
Chairman?
carries.
Could you just remind me who made the first?
I'm sorry?
Who? You did? I did. Cody, okay.
I did not make a motion, no.
Well,
I thought Ben made the motion.
actually, neither one of us really made a motion.
We were just discussing a gentleman,
We're
yeah.
discussing the gentleman. But
Yeah.
I'll make the motion that we appoint Mr. Story to it, so.
Okay, now we have a motion.
All right, I second
Do
again.
we have a second? Any discussion? Any discussion at all? All
Just
in
that
favor?
the board, the St. Mary's River Management Board, they look for people who live on the river or near the river. So,
And Mark Twain was not available, so I agree.
Or Daniel Boone.
or Huck Finn. So,
So who's on first? All in favor? Motion carries. Okay, now we'll move to the adoption of the Camden County 2026 legislative priorities. Joey brought this to us last time as a presentation, and we just want to take action tonight. Do I hear a motion to approve the 2026 legislative priorities for Camden County?
Mr. Chairman, I move to approve the 2026 legislative priorities for Camden County.
We have a first, do we have a second? I'll second. We have a first from Commissioner Smith and second by Commissioner Casey. Any discussion? All in favor? Motion carries. Okay, item number 5 is approval of special purpose local option sales tax 9 amended agreement. This is basically because the county and the 3 cities are no longer, the PSA is not maintaining the parks for the county and the 3 cities. This is a redistribution of the collections for the SPLOST 9 referendum. Haven't read through it. Do you have a motion to approve?
I make the motion, we approve this agreement.
I'll second. So we have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
I'm just unsure, I'm not a lawyer, right? If we're actually allowed to do this once the referendum's passed. Ms. Jackie, do you have any thoughts? Ms. Fortier, sorry.
That's okay. My position would be that this is a relocation of certain funds that were originally allocated for the PSA for the operation of parks. Since we're still operating the parks, but they're now under effectively a different department, even though it is a different municipality, it's not changing the nature of the funds that are being collected or that were allocated for specific projects. The projects are being redistributed amongst the municipalities, so I think that it's appropriate.
So there's no need to have a referendum.
I don't think that there's a necessity for a referendum on this, since it's not changing the character of the projects. It's changing who's receiving the funds to the extent that.
Who the responsible party is.
The responsible party, right.
Thank you.
If I'm not mistaken, the PSA still receives some of the funds, not all of them, but some of the funds. The counties and the cities will do the projects, then the PSA will refund those entities with the SPLOST money.
And that's why it's okay, because the projects didn't change, right?
Right,
Right. Projects remain the same.
right. Microphone. Microphone.
Here, put that back. Item number 6, the development and implementation of a Camden County Adopt a Park program. Commissioner Smith.
Yes, just to reiterate, I know we've discussed this, before at different times regarding my desire to see citizens be able to participate in the beautification and upkeep and maintenance of their local community parks. I know we have kind of some ad hoc versions of that, maybe up towards the north end. I forget the name of that park. I saw where you were speaking at an event where you were, I think, awarding someone for taking initiative and keeping their parks beautiful. So I know that we all have a desire to see that citizen input. Adopt a Park programs are not new to the state of Georgia. There are jurisdictions all throughout the state that have implemented some version of an Adopt a Park. The reason I didn't come to you with a plan, because I think we would need staff to maybe work together to develop what would work best for Camden County. I can give you examples of jurisdictions that have them if you'd like, but really today I'm just seeking approval for staff to start working on a plan that would work for Camden. So with that, I would move to allow staff to start working on an Adopt a Park plan for Camden County.
I'll second that.
We have a motion and a second. Further discussion?
Why didn't you bring this up during the strategic planning when we were planning for stuff like this?
I believe we discussed the Adopt a Park program then. No? Well, so what I saw at strategic planning was really, we were focused on projects like airport and,
No, Cody. We talked about a multitude of things. You could have brought up anything you wanted to discuss, and you did not.
okay, well, I do think this is an appropriate avenue
No.
to discussing it. We have a first and a second. You're welcome to offer your thoughts.
And I did.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion?
Well, first of all, you've got to find out who's going to be over this. How are they going to manage these things? I think I saw, and it may have come from you, paperwork out of Jacksonville where they have the same program.
Yes, sir. There's also Liberty County, Keep Liberty Beautiful, McIntosh County, Athens, Clark County has an Adopt a Park program, Fulton County. The city of Warner Robins has an Adopt a Park program. Keep Old Golden Isles beautiful. They have an Adopt a Park program, which is just to the north of us in Glenn County.
So we don't have to reinvent the wheel?
We definitely do not, no, sir. No, this is again, identifying who that responsible party be. Is it going to be Jared at Public Works, or is it going to go down the rung to Alex at Facilities Maintenance? Who's going to work with the public on creating those not creating those partnerships, but managing those partnerships? Obviously, most Adopt a Park programs throughout the state have some sort of application process and an agreement as far as liability waiving and of that nature. Obviously, we would want to consult with legal counsel on, again, what works best for Camden County. But it's definitely not new to jurisdictions throughout the state.
So your motion is basically to
To allow,
come up with a program.
Start the
Bring it
process.
to allow staff to start working on a program that could work for Camden County.
Sure.
Again, at your own town hall, we saw expressions of a desire for a program like this. I know several individuals interested in a program like this. They can be day projects with civic organizations or other nonprofits, maybe a more long-term relationship. Again, obviously with the approval of the county department responsible for managing the program.
Any more discussion?
You also have to, check on the insurance, see where we're liable, that kind of stuff. We may have to reconfigure some of those things as well, so.
Absolutely, and I do understand that's a concern. Hopefully, we can reach out to some of these jurisdictions and ask what they do to mitigate, those types of concerns.
So you need to put limits on what these volunteers can do as well. So,
Further discussion? All in favor? Motion carries. Let's move on to item 7, which is airport project referendum discussion. Mr. Smith.
Yes, again, this just comes from public input. I've seen a strong desire for a contentious project such as this, right? Everyone still has scars from spaceport. We're just throwing the word air in front of it, and it is a different project, a different beast completely. But given the level of mistrust and uncertainty about such an expensive project, I know there's money that we're going to have to come up with to the tune of $5 million or plus. It could be more. And just given that large financial chunk of money, the long-term cost of maintaining an airport, I believe such a question as this deserves the voters' input, since we're asking them to foot the bill and welcome this into their community. I think the FAA and other entities, GDOT, would like to see that community buy-in. And it also gives an opportunity for those that support an airport to make their case as well on why this might be an economic improvement to Camden County. So, if I were to make a motion, really it could just be a discussion on where we might like to see as far as a referendum. So I will not make a motion right this second, but I would say this is an opportunity to discuss whether we all would maybe support or not support having a referendum for the
Yeah,
citizens.
let's discuss that, yeah.
In the, when we were doing the strategic planning, this came up, and we talked about it in there as well. I am definitely not opposed to sharing all information with the public and getting feedback from the public. I think it's vital that we do this. I don't want to have another case like we had recently. However, there is something that we need to consider on this before we go too much farther on it. I know that we have all these contracts. We're government. Government has contracts. I would like to see a contract from the FAA and the state of Georgia that stipulates that 90% and that 5%. I think that's important. That's vital for us to look at. And without going any farther at all, get those things in order and find out where we really stand on that, and then move forward with it right, in that area. I'm not an engineer. I don't know how to do all of this stuff, but I know from being a business owner that I know I went to the bank one time with a great business plan, fantastic business plan. I wanted to borrow money, start a business, and they laughed at me because all I had was intangible assets. And until we have something in writing stating this from the FAA and the state of Georgia, at this point, we got a word from the FAA. We got a word from the state of Georgia. And to me, I want to see it like this. And I think maybe Joey could move forward with that just to see if we could get those tangible assets. Because they're tangible once they're in writing.
Right, and you bring up a really good point, because I think it was discussed at strategic planning
was.
that that's not a guarantee, that 90%.
It is. No. And yep.
And with,
Say, at this point, we had a plan at the strategic planning session, let's just follow the plan. And the
Okay.
potential referendum is going to be part of that decision at some point, but I think we need more information. Need to educate the public more, so people are informed. So I think it's premature to move to have a referendum today, but we certainly need to move forward with the airport. as
Right,
we
well, definitely
decided at the strategic plan.
definitely not today, as I wasn't advocating for that, but,
Sure, I
you know,
understand.
towards the November election, certainly, because I know, we took a step, we agreed to take a step that was submitting more information to these entities.
Which cost us nothing.
Right,
That
but,
cost
but,
us
but a
nothing.
year from now, we could be, from today, a year from today, we could be getting to the point where it's a point of no return. You make a decision. I think before we get to that point, we should have ample enough time to have a referendum and get that input from the citizens.
Well, and we have tangible assets by that time.
This issue about a referendum is not proper for a referendum. State law does not allow us to have a referendum for effectively a public poll. That is what the purpose of our representatives are for. So certainly, if there is a voice from the constituents to each of you individually as representatives of the county for what they want to go forward or what they want the direction the county to take, that is proper. But a referendum stating we need to have a referendum, yay, nay, on an airport authority or other issue is not going to be proper. There are specific limited issues for referendum under state law. So that is where we are as far as that goes right now. Now, certainly, issues of bonding, the creation of authorities, other issues would be appropriate for referendum.
If I may, there was a non-binding referendum in Glynn County on whether they were going to establish or do away with the Glynn County Police Department and all go under the sheriff's office. It was a non-binding poll to the citizens. on it.
Yes, it's not proper as a referendum per se. That's my issue here.
Well, I mean, that seems very similar as far as polling the public on what they would like to see done in their community.
And that can equally be done by the fact that each of the commissioners has been holding town halls, hearing from your constituents. That directs you on how you are going forward in voting. So otherwise,
Couldn't the same be said for Glynn County, though? They could just talk to their constituents on whether they wanted to keep the Glynn County Police Department or not?
what Glynn County does is what Glynn County does.
And what I'm asking Camden County to do is ask their citizens whether they would like to have an airport or not.
I've got a question. There's somebody sitting in this room, I don't want to throw him under the bus, but he uses surveys. He sends surveys out to people in order to get information. I think that's a great idea. Kristen was kind of working on that kind of stuff. And then she also was working on not just town halls where each commissioner has a town hall, but where we come off of this dais, go sit in the floor, stare at everyone, look them in the eye, and answer these questions point blank.
I like that idea, Martin. Rather than going to the extremes of having a referendum, if the county could commission a survey to be posted on the county website.
I think the survey would,
And poll the
that wouldn't
citizens
be
that way.
illegal, would it?
But is that something that we
I'll-
would adhere to?
I would look specifically into the authority on that. I do not know the answer to that right now, but I can get an answer as
find
to
it?
the authority to conduct such polling. A gut answer would tell me that that's not really an appropriate tool, but I will get you appropriate authority on that.
But it is something within our power to do. It's the county's social media. It's the county's website. If we wanted to put a poll out there and ask whatever we wanted, if we decided to do that, rather than going to the extreme of a referendum, I would just hope that,
I don't really enjoy social media.
right.
So,
But
I'd rather find a different way to do it.
I just hope if we did seek that input from the public, we would respect our constituency enough to honor it once we had the results.
Oh, absolutely.
Well, the public elected us to make these hard decisions. We are not a true democracy where everything is voted on by the public. We are the public's representatives. We should have
And I know you don't believe that I think that everything should be voted on by the public, but an issue like this, something as controversial, something as expensive that we don't necessarily have the funds for.
Well, you keep throwing out the $5 million, and of course, we don't have the funds because we didn't do our, the tax increase that we should have done. But the $5 million is not that we got to have it right now. It's over, a 5, 7, maybe 10-year period of time.
So in addition to all of the things that we have to fund, like a jail that's going to cause a tax increase, we want to throw an additional amount that's going to cause an even larger tax increase. Again, I think for a want like this, we should seek some input from the public. And I know you've gotten public input already.
Yeah, and, the thing about it is, I don't think we have to go to the public for every decision we make. But when they are controversial, there's nothing wrong with asking someone's opinion. I mean, I like the
At the end
survey.
of the day, it is our job
It
to make
is.
these tough, hard decisions.
Yes, it is.
You know, I have a
Definitely
constituent,
is.
I have it's not my, well, I represent all of Camden County, but he's not in my district, but I have a constituent that is actually an airport supporter, and he wanted to meet to discuss with me, but under Mr. Casey's logic, I should just talk to his representative because they would know better than them. So
No, that is not what I said.
it's how it comes across when we're against asking the public.
At the end of the day, it is the board's decision.
It is.
Now, if you want to be a true democracy, then we don't need to be here. We just open up the polls every time we got to make a decision.
Again, I don't think that you believe that I think we should have a poll for every single decision we make, but one of this nature, I believe it's important to have that input.
You had a real in.
So at this point, Joey has some direction.
Well, actually, I would offer that in a motion. I would move that the county commission an in-house survey to be presented to the public to gauge their interest or appetite for an airport.
Well, before we do that, let's make sure what the plan is.
He's made a motion, we get to the discussion section. We have a motion. Can you restate the motion real quick?
It was kind of wordy, but I move to commission an in-house survey to be presented to the public to gauge their appetite or interest for an airport. Obviously, it can be worded in a more appropriate, fashion by staff, but that's the gist
We have a
of it.
motion, we have a second.
For purposes of discussion, second?
We have a motion and a second discussion.
All right. Jim, what's your discussion?
The discussion is that,
Microphone.
thank you.
By the way, he's got a knife out up here.
No, I've got a fingernail file. I just broke a fingernail. It's such a tense discussion. We have a bad taste in our mouth as a county from an expenditure that was just bulldozed along. I've had a lot of constituents express an opinion about an airport. And I agree with Ben Casey to a point. We are a representative democracy, and I am representing my constituents when I say that I think that we need to consider very carefully whether we want to commit ourselves. It's not the $5 million for the initial outlay and the promise of matching funds in the amount, I think of what, 90 million that the state? 60 million, whatever. That's still tax money. That's still money from us as taxpayers. It's the ongoing expense and the justification for that expense in operating yet another enterprise or business or whatever you want to call it, when we don't really have that great a track record of running businesses. So the discussion, in my opinion, is that we need to listen very carefully to our constituents and then vote according to what they are indicating to us. And that's about as much as I want to say about it at this point.
So Counselor, regarding the motion, you have some, is there legal issues?
I would like, before this county goes forward on placing a poll, for the opportunity to do a little bit of research on the authority to actually have that poll placed as the board is requesting, because I do have concerns on that. So I would like the opportunity to do that. And if I may just have a specific timetable on that, just give me till the next meeting. That would be what I would ask,
If I could ask for my own clarification.
certainly.
How is it any different than the communication survey that we put out?
You are asking the communicate. Specifically, I want to answer your question directly, and I want to make sure that I have the authority behind it. So I do think that what the goal of this specific poll is seeking, as far as you're switching from the desire to have a referendum, which would require a local act to be placed on a ballot. And I do want to be clear, that would require a local act passed in the legislature to place that on the next ballot. But now, instead of doing that, we want to seek a poll. You're effectively trying to do the same thing. You're testing the public opinion on it. That's different from the county seeking input as to what tools, what methods you're seeking to put out information, how you receive your information. They're seeking two different answers. That's really why I'm saying, give me the opportunity to provide some research to say whether or not this is an available mechanism separate and apart from what would require a local act to be placed on a ballot referendum.
How long would it take you to do that?
I'm just asking till the next meeting. And that way, Mr. Smith could certainly renew his motion to have that placed. I don't have a problem with that. I just would ask for the appropriate amount of time to be able to do that.
So 2 weeks?
Yeah, that's what I'm asking for, till the next meeting.
And I can be agreeable to that. So what I would ask for us to do now is to vote no on the motion that we have first and seconded. And I would like to offer another motion afterwards. If you could call the vote, Your Honor.
Yep. All in favor?
You don't have to vote on that. You can just rescind the previous motion, withdraw it.
Yeah, you can just
Even with the
amend
second?
previous motion, right?
Yes.
Okay, well, I'll withdraw my previous motion and offer this as another motion. I move to give the county attorney till the next meeting to get information on whether it is lawful for us to place a survey or poll on the county mediums, at which time we can move to, it's already getting long. I move to give you the opportunity to do that, and we can decide it at the next meeting.
Second.
Thank
We have a
you.
motion and a second. Any more discussion? All in favor? All opposed?
We didn't offer any discussion.
Well, what we're going to do here, or what y'all are going to do here, is y'all going to kill the airport. And this is a replacement airport. It is not a new airport. If we don't build this airport, Camden County will never have an airport. You can't look and say, yeah, we need an airport right now. No, we don't. But in 50 years, we'll probably need an airport. But if we don't do it, we'll never have an airport. FFA is not allowing new airports. This is a replacement airport. If it's not done now, it'll never be done.
I just don't believe I know better than the public on this particular issue, but thank you.
Let's move
Well,
on. Let's move on to
We got to think
reports.
forward.
I'll get the answer to the board by the next meeting. Thank you.
Let's move on to reports. Any calendar changes?
Yes, I just have one correction on the bottom of the March calendar where I list the qualifying for 2026. The dates are March 2nd through the 5th, which is Monday through Thursday, from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. And the correction is March 6th, 2026, Friday. The times are 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. And I just wanted to make that correction.
Thank you, Katie. Sean's not here. County administrator comments. Joey, do you have anything?
None at this time.
Okay. So we'll move on to the additional public comment section. Do we have anybody signed up, Katie?
First is Mr. Robert Nuhr.
If you can come up and state your name and your address, please.
My name is Bob Nury. My address here in Camden County is 99 Gannett Trail. I have a lot at Sanctuary Cove. At this time, I live in Kennesaw. So today, I've come down on a matter very important to me. I've driven 300 miles today from Kennesaw, not because of a fee, but rather of a dream that my wife and I have, that we bought a lot in Sanctuary Cove back in 2005. We paid the capital cost at that time, the pipes in the ground, contribution in aid of construction, the tap fee. These were fully satisfied in 2005. As established in a law by the Georgia Supreme Court, the case WMM Property versus Cobb County, this created a vested right that cannot be retroactively stripped away. Furthermore, I have a letter from Water Utility Management in 2018 with a written guarantee stating, if you have paid a tap fee for your lot, you will not be charged again. This statement is also consistent with a HUD statement that I have from 2004 prior to buying my lot, which states, these are one-time connection fees. These are not deposits. These are not fees subject to replenishment. These are one-time fees. I want to be clear. I believe Water Utility Management has a right to make a fair profit. We need them to be successful in our area. However, they also have a mandatory obligation to live up to the written promises, franchise agreements that they have with this county, and regulatory law of the state. Historically, legacy owners in this county have connected to the system for years without being asked to pay an additional capacity fee. Prior to this new franchise agreement, connection fees for legacy lots were limited to a standard meter set cost because capital investments were already satisfied. I do not believe that it was the commissioner's intent for new development fees to be used to double charge long-term property owners. While the utility has pointed out Section 5 in an email they sent to me to justify these charges, Section 7 of the franchise requires all fees to be consistent with the rate schedule. Your own Exhibit C labels the cost as a tap fee. Since I have paid my tap fee 20 years ago, my requirements have been met. This is also causing angst in Sanctuary Cove. I spoke to a developer who has multiple lots. He had confirmation that these fees were paid. Now these builders are going to get a meter fee, and they've been asked to pay this $11,750. That's the new connection fee. I'll make it quick.
Please, very quickly.
To wrap up, this is going to slow development in Sanctuary Cove. The Georgia House has already passed HB 449 to address these types of oversight issues. I ask for your help today to make my dream come true for my wife and I. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr.
Next is Mr. Ben Goff.
Going to pass.
Mr. Ricky
Anybody
Manning.
else?
Well, I got a couple
You
more.
have another one?
Yeah, Ricky Manning.
Okay, cool. Come on,
I got
Ricky.
one more after that, too.
Rick Manning again, Commissioners. Something that hasn't been brung up in this board is why this board has not commented or brought to the attention to any of the citizens the ongoings at the Union Carbide property. As they seek permit changes and possible rezoning and sale of the vast majority of this property out there, this board has not brung up nothing. We find all this out on our own. Yes, this is the same piece of property that 72% of these citizens out here voted to keep this board from purchasing. So what does the citizens conclude on the silence of this matter produced by this board? One can only think behind those closed doors there that this county still has lawyers and others working on land deals with Union Carbide against the will of the 72% of this people. What else are we going to think? The board is silent on this matter. Why no information meeting hosted by this board? Why are the meetings held in St. Mary's and not here? Because this piece of property is in the unincorporated county, not in St. Mary's. I have repeatedly said that all this darkness will come to light, and this too will be known before it's over with. As you gather into another executive session today, please consider that most of what's discussed in secret behind those doors should actually be public information. No sense in hiding all this. Notice the information I just shared and put out on the city of Kingsland, where a certain group of people have been privy to all the future developments going on in Kingsland, while all the other citizens have been denied this until I brung it out. Thereby, it allowed the benefits to those other privy people this knowledge, and they benefited off the knowledge while the other citizens sat there and didn't have it. that darkness came to light. And it would be wise for this board to be much more transparent with these things that are not, really not necessary to be kept in secrets. Because your secrets are going to come to light too. And it makes it look bad. So I beg this board, and I pray to this board, that you will find a way to make meetings for the unincorporated citizens on this Union Carbide permit change and what they're doing with that land out there. So the 24th, I've got to go down to St. Mary's. That has nothing to do with this unincorporated county. Everybody has been calling me. What do they think? Y'all are hiding stuff behind them closed doors about Union Carbide. What else are they going to think when you have brung out nothing? Laugh if you want to, Mr. Casey. You're part of this. You're main reason out there. Thank you for spending my $200 million or $2.5 million, whatever it was. You're welcome. That's what we get, laughing at the citizens. Thank you. Fine.
Well, I don't
Anybody else?
know, all right, I won't do it.
Next is Mr. Robert Bauer.
Yeah, it's my house. Bob Bauer from Harriet's Bluff. And I listened to all this bull crap that's flying around in here. And you know what? You got Glenn County up there, their airport's in trouble. You got Baxley County Airport up there, it's in trouble. And yet you want to build one here in Camden County, and it'll probably end up in trouble. So you ought to take all of that information, put it in a hat and make it disappear, and get behind Sheriff Cheney and put up his jail and get it out of the road so that we'll have a place to take care of the criminals that are in this county. And I see them every now and then drive down my street and deliver goods. And I'll get with Cheney and we'll get that straightened out. That being said, I've been in law enforcement. I know what I'm talking about. And if you don't have good law enforcement, you have chaos. And you don't want chaos, I'll tell you that right now. Thank you.
That's all I have registered.
Anybody else? Yes, sir. Come up, speak your name, and give us your address.
I got a visual aid for you, gentlemen and ladies. My name is Ryan Brooks. I'm from 103 Mango Street. Actually, you know, you've been out there, so you know. I do represent the Disc Golf Club in Camden County, or the Camden County Disc Golf Club. We also known as the Slappy Gilmore Disc Golf Club. And I didn't realize that I needed a government committee to be a steward of my community. I didn't realize I needed a government program. Our club has been taking care of this park for the last 5 years. If you look at the pictures that we've done, or that I've taken, it shows some of the work that we've done. The second page there, you see the sign that we made. There was no sign there. We made that sign. It was $400. But we did it so that you could see it. If you look over here on the other side, there's a culvert there. We made that happen there so that we would have a nice visual spot to take pictures. I say all this to say that we really love this park. It's a beautiful park. It's been maintained very well. I've never had a problem with PSA. Anytime we needed something, we got it. When Buck was alive, he took care of us. Ron was taking care of us. And if you look at now, I've had Mr. Turner involved. He's come out and helped take care of us. So I've never had a problem as a steward to try and take care of it. But if you look on the back here, we get towards the end. These are some of the benches that we made. These benches are probably cost you about $500 if you got them through a government contract. They're made by a hand craftsman. We have architects, nuclear engineers in our group. These benches will be around long after I'm gone. That's how well they were built. We've managed to put paint on everything so that it is Camden color in both Carolina blue and navy blue. And the evolution of our sign, if you look at the very back, we officially have bought another sign, and this one was made out of some material that's, I guess it's like $800 a sheet, so that's gonna last forever. It's like road wear sign. And if you look at the very back end, you can see where teenage boys are being teenage boys and they have damaged our course. They've done it multiple times. They pull out our posts, they throw them in the water. We don't come here and complain. We're not asking for anyone to police this situation. What we are asking is that we have spent $10,000 roughly. We've got a couple $1,000s of man hours out there. And I would like to have something put on the agenda so that we could potentially get funding, $10,000, so that we can double the capacity of the park. The park itself is an 18-hole course. We can make it a 36-hole course, which would make it a unique venue in the immediate 100 miles. There's only like 2 courses in 100 miles that have 36 holes, and that would make us an attractive destination. As of right now, we had it tracked that there were 400 different people that have come through from outside of the community, not in our community, but outside of the community that come here and play. Of those 400, probably 300 of them play here weekly. So there's 300 people in the Jacksonville, Brunswick areas that come and play. We have experienced great growth. I appreciate all your time. I don't know how this works, but I would like to have something put on the agenda for a future meeting in that regard. But thank you so much for your time.
Mr. Chairman, can I say something to him?
Yep.
Quick. Ryan, Alex, and Jared, raise your hand. Get with those 2 guys right there, okay?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else?
Want to go first, Janie? Janet Heath, in unincorporated Woodbine. Every time I come to one of these
We wait for
meetings,
the chairman to get back?
I learn more about our government and how we all work together. And I think I'm learning, you are learning, we're all learning together. I love Martin's suggestion that we have generated now some town hall meetings that weren't happening before, and they're wonderful. I think a format of ending a meeting like this, sometimes you do have to have executive session, but why not have a chance to have a conversation with your community? Because as Ben Casey says, you've been elected to do the job, you're doing the job well, but you must hear from the public because you're being elected to represent the public. So any way you can hear from us, and any way we can all have a discussion together and help learn about the different pieces of things, it helps us all be more acceptable and have a good community. The Adopt a Park program is a wonderful idea. In the last 6 months, the lead Woodbine Partners Group, Literacy, Education, Arts, and Development, has put up little free library boxes in all of the county parks in the north end. Now, that was done with the cooperation of the county. Sean Boatwright had us show him where we wanted to put the boxes, and he approved the sites where we put them. We've been maintaining those boxes every week. The books fly out of those boxes. In a few places, people are helping put books back in boxes, but mostly it's up to us to get those boxes supplied again. And what it has meant in our community, especially at Cornelia Jackson, because it's so close by and we're there often, and many, many children use that park, it gives us an opportunity to speak to the children when we go there, or to the adults. And both adults and children use these boxes. So it's a way of establishing community just by putting the books there and asking a young man, did you see we put some new books? Would you like a book? I don't read. Well, this book looks pretty, I think I'll take that book. It's wonderful. So let's have community involvement in these parks. Otherwise, you're missing the point. Thank you.
Good evening. I'm Janie Everett from Woodbine, Georgia. And of course, I'm here tonight to talk about Thiokol. I want to thank everyone for coming out to the 54th Thiokol anniversary commemoration. That is a observance that we do annually at the Thiokol Memorial Project. The project oversees the ceremony and the museum, and we were a little late getting here tonight because we just came from the college where we gave a screening of the documentary and a Q&A. So we're constantly traveling around the region. We have an invitation to Fernandina Beach once again. We visit all 16 of the cities. So our mission to have the people remembered and honored is moving forward. And we'd like to thank you all for your support. As of December 10th, the Congressional Gold Medal Act is in Congress. It's now at the Financial Committee. So we expect a vote probably in April. But my concern is, can we have a discussion offline somewhere about the project? The main thing is our volunteers age 70 and above. We need to get a staff, get a paid staff of young people, a combination of volunteers and a paid staff. We've discussed this maybe 3 years ago, but we'd like to have some type of consideration in the budget. And also, the building that we're in, we need to find a new place to house the museum. If anybody knows of a building that's available in the county somewhere, please let us know. But we are moving ahead with the project. We have upgrades planned, equipment upgrades, technology, the entire thing. We're building our catalogs, and we still have other information that we need to bring in from the Southeastern Archives. So we need to continue building the information and research. We have the research website, but we need to bring in and catalog the information from outside about this history. So we're asking y'all's help, and if you would consider in your budget discussions, we have a projected, we'd like to sit down and have that conversation. Thank you for your help in the past, and I look forward to working with you in the future. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else?
I'm John Wojcik. I live on Clark's Bluff Road. I know my time's not over with yet, but Turner would be glad for me to sit down. But I have one thing to say is I don't understand why this man traveled 300 miles to get just 3 minutes. He traveled 300 miles, and he got a red light, and he was given 30 more seconds. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for you. You should have had more time to express your concern to the county.
They've given me more than, I will say, they've given me email, we've been discussing.
Okay. As far as taking a poll, I agree with the attorney. Let her have time to figure out a way to do it, because polls can be one-sided. I've been to a couple of town hall meetings, and you have 20 people, and they're not going to speak for 40 to 50,000 people in this county. Benz, you guys are hired to do a job. We elected you. If you're going to take a poll on what people think of the JDA spending $5 million or have $5 million in their back pocket. You want proof about the airport to justify the airport. Why don't they come in front of us and tell us how they're going to spend their $5 million? Be concerned about them. It's local. It's here. It's happening now. Let us know what the future is with the JDA and their money. Going to this Citizen Academy woke me up a little bit about, especially the JDA. because Coughlin couldn't answer my questions. He talked around them. And that's probably why I'm here, because the JDA has got my attention. You guys got a job, big-time job coming up, because everybody wants money. Tonight you heard about, I want, I need, we need. And I went to your little thing where you had those representatives come down here. I was on that Friday, spent all day with you guys. You guys got your work cut out for you, and I don't want to be in your position. I really don't. You got a tough job coming. That jail, the airport, the JDA, you got roads and grounds, you got parks, you got so much stuff. Find out what the JDA is going to do with that money, please. You could put that, they just got $2 million from Kemp on top of what you're giving them. And the newspaper said we gave them $3 million. The taxpayers didn't give them $3 million. You guys gave them that extra $500,000, if I'm not mistaken. I'm running out of time, and I wish I hadn't drank that Mountain Dew.
Thanks, John. Anybody else?
Yeah, I need a Mountain Dew. Ben Goff, and I'm still from Harris Bluff. Recently, I have come to the conclusion that we cannot afford the services provided by the county. Can't afford it. Thank you.
Thanks, Ben. Anybody else? Seeing none, I'll make a motion, we adjourn the regular meeting and convene an executive session to discuss litigation and personnel.
So moved.
Got a motion and a second? All in favor? Motion carries. We'll be back.
I'm still
regular meeting.
So moved.
Second.
Motion, we have a second. No discussion? All in favor? Okay, we have 2 items to bring forward from the executive session.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to approve the settlement agreement regarding pending litigation.
We have a motion, I'll make a second.
Second, Mr. Chairman.
First, motion and a second. All in favor? Okay,
Mr. Chairman, you ready for a second one?
yes, sir.
Make a motion to accept the amended contract for the county attorney.
We hear a motion?
Second. I
A
mean,
motion.
sorry, you made the motion. Second.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor? Motion carries. Do I hear a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
About to fight
That's
over
a
that one.
unanimous every time.
First time we've ever challenged you, Katie.
A minute didn't even go by.
Bob, I'll give you a call, bro. We'll hit you up next time we're done.